This tip is about the difference and the importance of context over content. Now, I stole this one from Gary Vaynerchuck a little while back. For those of you who don't know who Gary Vaynerchuck is, I highly recommend you Google Gary V and see what he's all about. Love his message. One of the things he said a while back was, everybody talks about content is king, content is king. He said, fine, if content is king, then context is God. And that got me thinking about marketing versus sales. Marketing is content. Sales is context. If we as sales professionals are not putting any context around our content, we're no different than marketing, and I have no idea why we're getting paid to do what we do. Blasting out 1 million emails, that's content. I don't need a sales rep to do that. You know, making generic cold calls, leaving generic voicemails, that's again, I don't need a sales rep. Droning through demos. I can't stand demos, but yet most reps just go through every single slide, right? That's all content. I don't need sales reps to do any of that. Now, context is taking that marketing material that they just put together and before it hits my inbox, telling me why it's important to me. So for instance, say marketing comes up with an ebook or something. Don't just send me a 39-page ebook. You just gave me homework. Stop that, right? But what you say is, hey, John, our marketing department just came out with a really cool ebook here. The reason I think it's relevant to you is because blah. And by the way, if you read pages 5, 15, and 32, there's some really cool tactical things that I think you might get some value out of there. Ooh, okay. Interesting. You just saved me some work, homework, right? So now I'm actually interested. Webinars. You know how people sign, here's a tip for you. Get a list of your top 25 accounts, the executives that you want to engage with. And when you have a webinar that's relevant to them, and the webinar, say the email goes out for marketing. Well, take that email, forward it to them directly and say, hey, I'm not sure if you saw this email that just went out from marketing about this event that we have coming up. The reason I think you should go to it is because context, content. Now, say they sign up for it and they don't attend. They get that email, sorry you missed, and here's the link to it, and it goes in their things to read folder and they never look at it again, right? That's what happens. Well, don't do that. Take that email with the link to the webinar, forward it back to them and say, hey, looks like you missed the webinar that we had. It was really crazy. Some of my key takeaways were this. And actually, if you start listening to this webinar around minute 15 and go from minute 15 to 27, I think you'll get some really cool tactics out of that you might be able to apply to your existing business. Context, content. Let's talk about demos. Or presentations. Nobody cares about the entire presentation. They just care about the part that's most relevant to them. So skip all the crap and focus on what's important to them. Hey, what's the one thing you want to see out of today's presentation that's going to give you the confidence to take the next steps with us? That's what I'm going to focus on. Context is so critically important. One more piece to this is social selling. Look, you don't have to be the content creator on social. You just have to be the content curator. You know that less than 1% of people on LinkedIn actually create content? The rest actually just consume it and repost it. So all you got to do is go consume content and then share it with your context. So you read an article and you say, hey, really interesting article here. My key takeaways were X, Y, and Z. And then you post it. That way you get all the credit and the writer did all the work. Context over content. Please think of that as you go through your sales career at every single stage. It's what differentiates us as sales professionals. Otherwise, we're just like marketing. Make it happen.